Hey everybody, this is Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. It's a 2,500 point battle. Me, Lord Tremendous, versus the Punisher, Lizardman player. It is the first time my opponent's ever tried playing with the Lizardman before. He's my Bretonian opponent. If you watch my battle reports, you'll know I have a Bretonian opponent that wiped me off the table during the last tournament. Yeah, he got a whole bunch of Lizardman stuff, put a list together, and wanted to try it out. So we borrowed a whole bunch of models from my other Lizardmen rival. And yeah, so some of these models look familiar. That's because they should, because yeah. But my list has had a little bit of a revamp. Instead of going with an all marks presented type list, I went with a mostly Tzeentch with some Slaanesh thrown in there. Just it's more of a theme thing, and I figured none of my opponents would ever complain about not having a Demon Prince of Nurgle in there. So now my Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous, is Mark Tzeentch. He's still a level 3 wizard with the Chaos Armor and the wings. Charm Shield, Dragon Vein Gem, Other Trickster's Shard, Scaly Skin, Poisonous Slime, Soul Feeder, and the Lore of Tzeentch. And I went with the Lore of Tzeentch because I like the offense that it offers as opposed to the Lore of Metal. I also like that it's not situational like the Lore of Metal is, because if you run into an army like vampire counts, for example, who have almost no armor, then most of your spells are useless. So I like the Tzeentch spells. I want to make Glean magic work and Treason. So I'm gonna work with the Lore Tzeentch for a while. Anyway, my heroes are still my exalted hero, Tardum, the Herald of Tzeentch. Mark Tzeentch, Demonic Mount, Halberd, Shield, Talisman of Preservation, Potion of Foolhardiness, and a Third Eye Tzeentch. And of course, there's my Chaos Sorcerer, Ashikis the Muse. He's Mark Slaanesh. He's a level 2 wizard. He's got the Steed of Slaanesh, the Slickness. I named him for reasons that the people will understand if they saw it. He's got the Warrior Bane, Enchanted Shield, Talisman of Endurance, Chalice of Chaos, Chaos Familiar, and he uses the Lore of Slaanesh, because the Lore of Slaanesh is dangerous. My army, again, a bit of a difference. Now my 24 by brick of Chaos Warriors are Mark Tzeentch. They have a hand weapon shield still, full command, and the Banner of Eternal Flame. My other brick is pretty much the same, 20 by Chaos Warriors, Temple Guard of Tzeentch, Mark Tzeentch, Halberds, full command, and the Blasted Standard, because it saves lives. My special choices are my 5 by Hellstriders, the Pleasure Riders, with banner, musicians, spears, and shields, because when you have the perfect unit, you don't change it up. The Chimera is back. I am so glad to have this guy back. He's got poison and regen again, and welcome back. Don't get me wrong, the Skull Crushers were nice and all, but I just missed the Chimera. I'm better with the Chimera, and yeah. Nothing wrong with the Skull Crushers, but I'll pick a Chimera over them every time. And that's just because I'm weird. And of course, the one, the only... Yep. Alright, now for my opponent's army, I'm doing something a little different now. And if you wouldn't mind giving me feedback, I'd appreciate it. Instead of doing the backgrounds or just all black when I'm going over the army list and stuff like that, I'm going to start doing like a picture or two of just cool parts of my opponent's army, and I'll probably do like a army-wide picture of mine eventually for my next battle report. But take a look at this. Let me know what you think. If it's irritating, let me know. If you like it, let me know, and I'll keep it or not keep it depending. But yes, his list, he had a Slan as a general, level 4 wizard. He had the item or the blessing or whatever it is that gives him +2 channeling dice. He had the channeling staff and the Laurel Light. He had an Old Blood.
Garblood the Defiance.
On a cold one with the Great Weapon, Armor of Destiny, Dawnstone, and the Other Trickster Shard. And actually, this is a great kit out for an Old Blood, especially if you're going to put him on a cold one. It's just any Lizardman player would benefit from having this kit. He had a Skink Priest, who was a level 2 wizard. He had a Dispel Scroll, the Cloak of Feathers, and he used the Lore of Heavens. He also had a Scar Veteran on a Carnosaur. The Carnosaur had Blood Roar. He was this BSB. Light Armor, Charm Shield, Sword of Striking, and Talisman of Endurance. So yeah, he was quite difficult to deal with. But anything on a Carnosaur is going to be a pain. He had 2 Brixosaurus warriors with full command spears and shields. He had a unit of 10 skinks with blowpipes. A Bastillodon with the Beam of Chotek, the Pew Pew gem. He had his Troglodon,
Cracky Lizard!
and he had the Divining Rod upgrade, and he had an Ancient Stegodon with the Engine of the Gods. His spell, or I'm sorry, these are my spells. 3 from Zinch and 3 from Slanesh. And you can pause it and read them if you want. Here are his Slan spells. He used the Laura Light, as I said. He had Shem's Burning Gaze, the Speed of Light, Banishment, and Briona's Time Warp. Again, here he had the Laura Heavens for his Skink. He had Wind Blast and Chain Lightning. Here's deployment. As you can see, it was pretty much he bricked up in the middle, and I'm going to try to surround him. His right flank, there's his skinks. Ignore the chameleon skink, it's just a normal skink. We just needed one more body. He's got the Bastillodon right there, giving me the evil eye. His center comprises both of his bricks of spearmen. The one on our left has the old blood on the cold one. Behind that particular unit is obviously his Slan. And sitting there pretty in the middle is the Troglodon. And of course on his left flank are his Scarvet, BSB on a Carnosaur, and the Ancient Stegodon of Doom. My right flank, there's my Chimera. I'm so glad to have him back in the army, I can't begin to tell you. There's my brick of 20 Zinch Warriors with Halberds full command. There's my BSB. The reason he's placed back there is because of my stupidity. When I placed the 2 units of warriors, I didn't think that I didn't have enough space between them, keeping the 1 inch so that the BSB could plant between them. But yeah, when I went to place the BSB, I realized my mistake, so he falls back a little bit. Not a huge big deal, but that figured I'd explain myself there. And the other unit of warriors, I know they look like they're marked Nurgle, but they're actually marked Zinj with hand, weapon, shield, full command. And of course, my left flank, there's my Hellstriders with Ashicus the Muse inside of them. They're heading up to cause some harm. There's my Demon Prince, and last but not least is the... Sorry, couldn't help myself. Top of turn 1 after movement. As you can see, I got to go first. My Chimera runs up behind that hut. The idea there was so that his Carnosaur couldn't charge me, and so that I could just be a real big threat on anything that comes, down the center there. The Halberd Warriors and the BSB move up to kind of put a little bit of pressure, but try to stay out of charge range. The hand weapon shield guys just throw caution to wind and come on up, because honestly I didn't think anything he could throw at me on that side of the table could have hurt him. And the Mutalith moves up using the cave as shelter to try to throw his spell on the unit of warriors with the old blood on it. And of course the Hellstriders get in his back row there and start getting ready to either charge the skinks or just magic them off the table. So in the magic phase, Ashicus doesn't waste any time, and he immediately gets slicing shards off on the skinks and kills 3 of them. He's actually also able to get his weapon skill, initiative, and attacks to go up by 1 thanks to the lore attribute. My Demon Prince, right out of the box, using, the Blue Flame is each, the signature spell, I believe. He does like 6 strength 3 hits on the skinks and kills 3 of them. And then he fails his toughness check at the end of the magic phase, and another one dies. So 7 skinks die, they pass their panic check, but they go from 10 to 3. Much, much less of a threat. Here's bottom of 1 after movement. As you can see, my opponent's being cautious, which isn't stupid at all. And he's moving up carefully, not really coming up too far. His skink priest runs around to try to get chain lightning off, get line of sight for chain lightning. But yeah, for the most part, everything kind of shimmies a little bit. He's kind of trapped. But his magic isn't. And yeah, chain lightning goes off, kills off 4 of my halberd warriors. It hits my BSB, but I'm able to save all the wounds that it does to him. And then 2 of my hand weapon shield guys fall over. It was kind of brutal. During his shooting phase, his skinks turn, and I don't know, they must have had like a rangefinder or something, because out of 6 dice, he rolls 3 6s, and I don't make any of my armor saves, so 3 Hellstriders just die. It was awful. Top of 2 after movement, my Demon Prince goes into the Bastiladon, and my Hellstriders charge into the Skinks. Both make it, which is awesome. The Mutolith backs up a little bit because I didn't like the way his old blood was looking at him. I didn't want to be able to get that charge. The Warriors move up just a little bit, and the Chimera runs over into the back to put some pressure on his Skink Priest. And, of course, the Ancient's taking on everything else that I have a flank on now. When the Hellstriders go in, of course, they're quick to fire, so the Skinks stand and shoot and kill another one, another 6. And I failed my 5-up armor. Yeah. So my Hellstriders are all falling apart, which is a shame, but what can you do? I got a hold of them, though. Ashicus and the last remaining Hellstrider are going to mincemeat these little guys. And, of course, the Demon Prince runs into the Bastiladon, and it's all over but the crying there. But speaking of crying, Ashicus opens up his mouth and sings Cacophonic Choir onto the Old Bloods unit and kills 3 of them. It was mostly I wanted to get the spell off to give him random movement. I didn't want him charging or anything like that. So, yeah, I was able to get it off, killed 3 Saurus Warriors, and now he's always striking last. Whoop-de-doo on Saurus Warriors, right? And he's got D6 movement, so that was kind of cool. In combat, I'm able to kill 2 of the Skinks, no problem. They don't do anything back, and with combat res, I run them off the table. I don't catch them, so they don't get devastating charge, or the Hellstrider doesn't get devastating charge, but they're off the table now, and yay, 70 points in my pocket. The Bastiladon gets killed. I do exactly 4 wounds to him, and that's all she wrote for the Bastiladon. He falls over on his side. The Demon Prince decides to stay right where he's at, turn and face, because I was sorta hoping that he would random movement into my Demon Prince, take the bait, expose his flank for my hand weapon shield, Tzeentch Warriors, and my Mutolith to charge him in the flank. But it was a long shot. And of course, bottom of 2, as you can see, he doesn't fall for it. He just kind of reforms to face the Demon Prince, and this Troglodon shifts around to shoot at him. The Carnosaur turns to answer my Chimera's, rapist witch strategy over there. And the Slan dives into the other unit of Saurus Warriors because, yeah, the Chimera was going to charge him if I could have pulled that off. During his magic phase, he tries to get Pulse off, and I let it go because I think he's going to hit the Chimera and that's going to be about it. I wasn't overly concerned. But no, he rolls a 21-inch Pulse. I couldn't believe it, and I lose 2 more Halberd Warriors. My BSB gets hit, but he's able to save all of the wounds, and I lose 3 more Hand Weapon Shield ones. And luckily, my Chimera only takes 1 wound because I was able to armor save the other 3 that he did, or my Chimera would have died, which would have been awful. Top of 3 after movement. As you can see, the Hellstriders come around the side there to try to put some pressure on the Troglodon and 2 units of Warriors with either Choir or Shards or anything. I was just going to start throwing magic out there because that's what he's for. The Demon Prince gets into the Troglodon. He stands and shoots, but it doesn't hurt him. And the Chimera runs over into the back to be pretty much a target of opportunity kind of guy. I was not going to put him into the Carnosaur because I don't think that's a good matchup for me. But if I could have gotten a hold of that Ancient Stag or even the rear of the Saurus Warriors with the Slan in it, that would have been glorious. Everything else kind of moves up, getting ready to try to charge. There's a picture of the Demon Prince in with the Troglodon. And yeah, that's a pretty good matchup for me. We get into combat because my magic phase is kind of a wash. And as you can see, the Troglodon, I think I did 1 or 2 wounds to him, but I did enough combat res that he broke and I didn't pursue and he fled off the table. So I just turned to face the Saurus Warriors in case I wanted to charge him. Again, exposing that flank with the Slan in there. I'm not going anywhere. There's no way in hell he's going to kill off my Demon Prince. So I figured he charged the Demon Prince, my Warriors and my BSB, and something has a flank charge on him, and that would do it in. So bottom of 3 after movement. Once again, he does not fall for it. His Ancient Stegodon charges the Halberd Warriors, and they elect to stand because I was like, why not? It's a long charge. He might not make it, but if he does, oh well, But I roll my fear check or my terror check because Stegodons are terrifying. I roll a 9, and I'm like, well, no big deal. My BSB is right there, so I pick up the same 2 dice, roll them again, a 9. So then I roll a 7 in order to have them flee. So yeah, they're gone. They flee. They're not off the table, but they flee 7 inches away. The Ancient Stegodon passes leadership test and redirects into the BSB. And at this point, I'm like, yeah, bring it on. And he doesn't make it. He fails his charge. The both units of Saurus warriors charge my hand weapon shield warriors, and neither of them make it. They both fail their charge, which leaves the unit of Saurus warriors with the Slan in beautiful countercharge position. Not to mention my Demon Prince now has a walk over and get into combat flank charge on that unit of Saurus warriors with the Slan in it. So I was very happy to see that. Not to mention now the Ancient Stegodon's rear is exposed to my Chimera, and yeah, he's a filthy rapist, so he's going to get in there, and it's going to be awesome. Other than that, his Carnosaur comes over to try to block some of the damage that's going to come at his Slan's brick, which is smart. It stops my BSB from charging his Ancient Stegodon and from getting into that combat with the Sarsaurs with the Slans. So it was clever. It was clever and interesting too, because it really made me stop and think whether or not I was ready for that kind of heat. Here's a picture of the Flea and Halberd warriors. In all fairness, I would run from an Ancient Stegodon too, so I'm not overly upset. So yeah, we go to his magic phase, and I don't remember what he was trying to cast. I want to say it was banishment, but yeah, he miscasts. The banishment, I think he did the banishment on my BSB, and it didn't do anything. Like he rolled really low for the amount of hits, and I was able to save what few wounds, if any, that he did. So yeah, the spell itself doesn't really do anything, and then he rolls 2d6 to see what it is, and he rolls a 3 for the miscast with everything all bunched up. He misses the Stegodon, but he hits the Carnosaur, his BSB, and a bunch of his warriors, not to mention himself. He doesn't go into the warp, but then he loses like 1 or 2 die. His magic phase was pretty much over. But yeah, he ends up losing 6 Saurus warriors to the misfire. It was awesome. I know it shows 8 here, but as you can see, the Ancient Stegodon is right there, and they now convey a 6-up ward save on every friendly unit within 6 inches. We forgot about that at the time, so we went back a little bit later because it's a friendly game and we're only playing for 4 grand, right? So we go back and he's able to actually save 2 of them with ward saves. So he puts them back. So the picture is a lie, just like the cake. However, the Scarvet and the Carnosaur both take a wound from the miscast, and there's no ward save in that, which is good. I'm always happy to see a Carnosaur and a BSB bleeding when they're not mine. So after that, we go to top of turn 4, and yeah, his failed charges turn into my successful charges. My BSB goes in his BSB, my hand weapon shield warriors and my demon prince go into the unit with the Slan, and the Chimera goes into the rear of the Ancient Stegodon. I also rally my Halberd Tzeentch warriors, which they're so far out of this game now, I might as well have let them run off the table. And just to be cautious in case the Slan was able to roll Snake Eyes or I flubbed my rolls or something happened that I wasn't expecting, I decided to take my 1 remaining Hellstrider away from my Chaos Sorcerer and bring him over where you see him in front of the Saurus Warriors and the Old Blood so that they couldn't charge the flank of my Tzeentch Warriors with hand weapon shield that are in with this combat. I was worried about that, so I decided sacrificing the Hellstrider was the best move. It's 115, 140 points with a banner or something like that, but it just seemed like the best choice. So there's a close-up picture there of the BSB versus the BSB. And let's just take a moment to just really respect the paint job on that Carnosaur and Scar Veteran. I mean, just awesome. Just absolutely awesome. Over here, the Tzeentch Warriors, I know they look like Nurgle, but they're not. But yeah, they're hand weapon shield guys, and my Demon Prince into his Slan's unit there, and yeah, that I was happy about that one. And of course the Chimera looking to prove himself in the rear of the Ancient Stegodon. In this combat over here, the Warriors of Chaos BSB, Tardum is able to do 2 more wounds at a Carnosaur, takes none in return, is able to win combat, but the BSB does not break. But an extra added bonus is the Carnosaur can't turn to face because he can't. He's literally, even corner to corner, he's sitting on the Slan's base, which is illegal. So he can't turn to face. He's just got to sit there and give me another turn in his flank, which is outstanding. Over here, the Chimera, God, did I miss you. He not only just does amazing. He gets all 9 of his attacks because of his tail and everything like that. But he does like 6 wounds at a Stegodon. Not one of them is saved and just murders it outright. Let's just take a minute to respect the Chimera. Oh, I missed him so much. Shame on me for taking him out of the army. What a bonehead move. And then, of course, the Saurus Warriors get obliterated by my Demon Prince Zinch Warrior combo. I lose a Zinch Warrior. My unit champion versus his unit champion. My unit champion kills him. I only do 1 wound, but that's all you need to do. And he gets +1 armor save for his trouble, which is yay. The unit of Saurus does or break. They need like snakes to stay, and obviously they don't get it, so they flee. They go 7 inches, and both of my units go 6. The Demon Prince and the Zinch Warriors go 6. And they're actually further up than they look here. It's just, again, physics won't let us get them up there. Although my Demon Prince does stop when he hits the my Chaos Sorcerer Slanesh Ashicus. So here's bottom of 4 after movement. As you can see, the Saurus Warriors with the Slan do rally, and they turn to face. The Old Blood on a cold one takes my bait and slams into the flank of my Hellstrider, and the Saurus Warriors turn to face the Demon Prince and Hellstrider, or my Chaos Sorcerer and everything like that, because he knows I'm going to go after his unit of Saurus Warriors with the Slan again. And he wants to countercharge. So yeah, magic is a bit of a wash, and shooting doesn't exist anymore, so we go into combat, and there you go. There's a good picture of the sacrifice that was offered to the Old Blood, and he accepts it gratefully and myrtleizes him at strength 7. I couldn't do anything to him, obviously, but yeah, it's a shame. Had to be done to save the rest of the unit, though. Noble sacrifice. Over here, my BSB is able to do 1 more wound to the Carnosaur, and the Carnosaur actually got a bunch of wounds into me, but I was able to save them all. And so I gave him 0.5 because he was able to turn to face now. Not only did he survive 2 rounds of combat with my BSB, but now he's turned to face, and I'm like, uh-oh, advantage gone. So here's top of turn 5 after movement. As you can see, my Chimera actually charged the unit of Saurus Warriors on the hill. He's actually base to base with 3 of the Saurus Warriors closest to us, but I can't fit him on the hill in order to do that because of, physics. So we just put him right there. He's actually just kind of bleeding off a little bit, and so the Old Blood can countercharge him next round. But I wanted a Chimera back in the battle. It was just too much fun to not. The Zinch Warriors hand weapon shield and my Demon Prince charge into the Saurus Warriors again. Again, they're not lined up perfectly because of physics. That damn hill got in the way again, but they're in combat there. The Mutalith moves up to try to throw his spell at either the Saurus Warriors or not the Saurus Warriors, the Old Blood on a cold one. And my Halberd Warriors, now that they're just, it's top of 5. They're out of this game. They're not going to be able to get in anywhere. So they just kind of move up to watch the fight. Their cowardice saved them. Boo. Over here, yep, there's the Zinch Warriors hand weapon shield and the Demon Prince into the Saurus Warriors. Obviously, that's not exactly where the Demon Prince is, but for the time being, that'll do until, I figure a way out to break physics. There's the Chimera getting ready to feast. And yeah, we go into combat. My BSB fails his fear check. With the reroll, he fails his fear check. I'm not able to do anything to the Carnosaur, even with the mount, nothing whatsoever. And he's actually able to get a wound through. I rolled a 2 for my ward save. Thank God he rolled a 1. Or, for his D3 wounds, he only put 1 on him. I got lucky as heck. But I actually end up losing combat here, and I stay, thank God. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's Warriors of Chaos BSB 1.5 to Lizardmen BSB 1.5. And those aren't odds that I like. Over here, the Saurus Warriors get obliterated once again. It's a lot of attacks, and with my Demon Prince in there with Thunderstomp and everything, it's just brutal. My unit champion gets into a challenge with his Slan and can't do anything. The Slan doesn't do anything back, but they break and flee, and they actually run 11 inches, but my Warriors ran 11 inches, and my Demon Prince elected to restrain, to turn and face the Saurus Warriors on top of the hill, just in case. Over here, my Chimera just starts eating them up. As you can see, he kills like 6 of them. Wins combat, but they're steadfast. So bottom of 5 after movement. As you can see, my Zinch Warriors, that's where they ended up off the table in the top right corner there. Demon Prince is still facing them and everything. Other than that, the only thing that really happened is his Old Blood on a cold one charged into my Chimera, and I honestly thought that was going to spell the end for him. So yeah, his magic phase is no longer existent. He has no shooting phase anymore, so we go to combat.
And our blood charges in. And Garblood charges out.
Yeah, basically his old one or his old blood on a cold blood charged in. He was able to do two more wounds, I think, to the Chimera, so he's hanging on by a thread. But the amount of wounds I was able to do back on the Saurus Warriors won me combat by like three. And the old blood failed his break test. The Saurus Warriors passed no problem, but the old blood didn't, and he fled. And I couldn't pursue because the Chimera is still in combat with the Saurus Warriors. But yeah, that was awesome. The Chimera is beast. Once again, shame on me for taking him out of the list. My BSB is finally able to kill the Carnosaur. I passed my fear check, my terror check, whatever, and I'm able to kill the Carnosaur finally. And I roll the out of God's chart, and I get an armor save increase. So he's one up all the time now for the rest of the game. And yeah, his little Scar Veteran was able to put a wound on me as well. So I think this one's a push. Either way, we both stay. So yeah, we go to top 6, and as you can see, not a whole lot changes. My Zinch Warriors come back on the table. My Halberd Warriors just kind of watch the BSB fight. The Demon Prince runs into the Saurus Warriors because the Chimera is having too much fun without him, and my Mutalith and Ashicus move up to basically just try to magic his old blood off the table. During the magic phase, I'm able to get 2 more wounds on the old blood. I think a combination between the Mutalith. I think I rolled a 1 though, so now he causes fear. He's Fearier. And the Hellstrider, or I'm sorry, the Hellstrider. The Ashicus is able to get one of his spells off and do another wound, but he's got 3 and I'm not able to kill him, which is poo. But that's just because I'm greedy. There's a better picture of the Demon Prince getting into the Saurus Warriors. And then we go to combat. And my BSB, lo and behold, is able to just smash in the face of the Scar Veteran. Once the Carnosaur was gone, the threat was gone. So yeah, my BSB was able to kill him. I roll the Adagat chart, and I roll another +1 armor save. But 1-up's the best you can get, so I don't even bother putting the chit down, because it is what it is. But he won that combat, and once again, awesome, awesome, awesome BSB. Yeah, in this combat, 2 monsters in the infantry. I don't care what kind of infantry you are, that's going to suck, especially when it's all strength 6. With poison, yeah. That was a terrible, terrible matchup for the Saurus Warriors, and I kind of felt bad for him, but I'm able to kill all but one. It ends up being his standard bearer, and he breaks and dies because I run him down. Not that it matters. Once he broke, that banner guy was dead anyway, and that's where they end up. That calls it where we go to the bottom of 6, and he rallies his old blood, but as you can see, he's got 3 monsters and a level 2 Slanesh sorcerer just looking right at him, getting ready to kill him. So it's a bottom of 6. He can't do anything. I can't do anything. So the game is over. And then, yeah, that's the end of the game photo. Both my Breaks of Warriors are still on the table. They're just not shown because it's Garblood, the Defiant, living up to his name, just defiantly with 1 wound left, looking at 3 monsters and a Slanesh caster on a steed of Slanesh. So, oof, would not want to be him. Quick timeout. Look at the banners. You need the banners. You have to get the banners. Other people are getting the banners and you still don't have a banner. You need to send this guy an email and get yourself a banner because not doing it is weakening your army. Right now, as we speak, your army just lost +1 strength. I'm just letting you know. So yeah, all in all, it was a total victory for me. I lost the unit Hellstriders. My opponent lost everything but
Garblood the Defiant.
The old blood on a cold one. It was his first game with the Lizardmen. He's used to Bretonnians. He had a lot of not knowing or not being used to not being swift stride when he charges, because Bretonnians have all those knights. So, a 9 doesn't seem that hard when you're Bretonnians, but when you're Lizardmen with movement 4, yeah. It's just he had a lot of things to remember and to adjust to that he just wasn't able to. And that's not his fault. That was his first game with Lizardmen, In turn 3, when he failed all those charges, that was how I was able to capitalize. And in a big way, that alone pretty much won me the game. Just being able to get those critical charges off on those really dangerous monsters and units. But, it was a lot of fun. I can't say enough good things about the way he painted that Carnosaur and Scarvet. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he finishes painting the rest of his army once he gets it all together and everything. I think it'll make for some really cool pictures for the battle reports. But yeah, Yeah, it was a great game, man. It was I enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. And if you're ready for a rematch, I am too. But yeah, once again, thank you for listening to my battle report or watching it or however you're going about ingesting this. I'm trying a few things as I can get to them, like the pictures for the army loadouts now instead of just a black screen. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, please feel free to contact me in the comment section below about them, and I will respond to them as quick as I can. But yeah, thanks.